Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam.
We have a question for you. Where inspiration is coming from? How can I really spot it and hear it? Sometimes I feel it is a very subtle voice, but I'm not sure if it is coming from a higher source or from my lower self. Then how to follow it and how to understand if I have been successful in following it or not? Thank you.
This is also a question which is asked in variations very often, and it is good to be asked. So let's go first with the word itself. Inspiration contains the word spirit, and the spirit is your soul. Yeah. So inspiration, when it is an inspiration, it comes from your spirit, it comes from your soul. And if it is not from your soul, we call it, in Arabic, we call it waswas, which means the whisperer, the other force, the force which wants to hold you down or confuse you or make you troubled, is the waswas, is the whisperer. And the whisperer can enter in us because our mind is in trouble. Usually it's troubled mind, it's in this location, and therefore it is not secure. It is not self-secure, it is not self-conscious, it's not self-confident. That's why we ask always ourselves, is it really like this? Is it not like this? Am I thinking correctly? Is it an inspiration or is it not? So when you have this state that you don't know, that means you have to deal with your troubled mind. And there's two ways. The easiest way is that you find somebody that you can trust, a master, someone whom you feel that he is or she is out of the main troubles of life, and you may consult with that person. If that is not the case, there is not a reason to desperate, because the inspiration will show itself, which will reveal itself if it was a beneficial inspiration or if it was an inspiration which brings you deeper into suffering. Yeah. First of all, you look, does my inspiration harm? Is it harmful for others? Because it's easier to see the others than yourself. Yeah. So let's say you have the inspiration to make a job in another country, but you are married and you have 2 children. You will earn, let's say, the double, but there is this thing that the children have friends there, your wife have friends, you have your family there, your friends, and all this you have to leave behind. Then you must look, is it something in you that suffers from lack of money, or that you want to be in a higher position for yourself, that you find a higher reputation for yourself, or what it is? What fulfills this inspiration? Where does it go? And the other side would be, you talk with your wife, for example, you talk also to your children, and if all of them say, no, this is not good, we don't feel good with it, and your wife says, but we are fine as it is, we don't need more money, why we should go to this country, and so on, then think it again. If it stays with you very strong, if it comes back and back and back, you may follow it. Because what returns on and on and on and on is usually from the higher source. When it comes and goes, you have too much doubts, then usually it disappears after a while. Sometimes it can be that you have to stand against all odds that you have to go counterclockwise, going against the stream. And but you will feel the strength. You will feel this determination to do it. And then you do it. You go for it. So it is not that complicated really to find out. Yeah. Then there is this word intuition. Intuition is something which wants to teach you something. Yeah. You have an intuition for a situation. You want to reach something, to achieve something. And you have this intuition that to go there or to ask this person or whatever, to receive a certain information that you need. Yeah. Follow it, try it out, because intuition is difficult to really secure it. It usually comes in the first time. Very easy example is, for example, the sun is shining, but you have this intuition that you should take an umbrella with you. Now your mind enters and says, hey, come on, the sun is shining, you don't need an umbrella. Then later in the day, it starts to rain and you understand that the intuition was telling you, yeah, without any outer signs, that it might rain. And very often it is like this. And if you start to practice certain practicings, that will come almost 100% to you. That the intuition will tell you, do this, even there is no apparent reason for it. For example, you have a flight or a train at a certain time, and the radio says that there is no traffic and everything is easy, and you should go. You have enough time to go with a normal calculation. But your intuition says, go much earlier. Listen to it. In the worst case, it can be it was not correct and you have to wait a little bit longer. But very often you will find out that suddenly came an accident, came this or that, and so on. And there was something in your path which takes more time. These kinds of things belongs to the intuition. And the more you trust in it, the more you follow it, the easier your life will be, and you have the feeling that you're somehow in a connection. Yeah. So intuition is not coming from your soul. Intuition comes from your instinctive center. Okay? And the instinctive center, when we live in nature, is 100% intact, because without that we cannot survive. But when we live in cities, our instinctive center goes down a lot. And we replace it with our mental center, and we go a lot in suspicion, for example. Yeah. Instead of acting, instead of moving, this energy to have intuition gets lost. There's no need anymore in the city really so much. And therefore we cannot use it, but our system wants to use it, wants to have it, and wants to go with it. And that's why it is rising up in the head and makes all kinds of troubles there. No. So nature, we live in nature, we go and have a better intuition and a better instinct. No. If you want to bring your children down because they sit all day long in front of the computer, or they play video games, or they do nothing else anymore, there's only one way: bring them to nature. Reconnect them to nature. Nature is the rebalancing force, and we are part of nature, even though we don't want to see it, but we're all part of nature. So child education should happen 90% in nature. That is the biggest university and the most important. And all the old knowledges are there. I hope it is clear about these three faculties, and may Allah bless you and find the right path.